Hey y'all, welcome to my studio. Okay, for today's video, I am going to be sewing a dress or attempting to fix the dress because the way it fits is really loose and I don't like the way it fits around my body. So I am going to try to sew it and make it fit my body the way I want it to. So this dress was gifted to me by my boyfriend's mom. So thank you for giving me this dress. So this is how the dress fits me. As you can see, it doesn't give my waist any justice. So I do like the pattern and the style of this dress. I just need to sew it here in the back so it can fit my waist a lot more better and make me look more snatched. I'm also thinking of keeping the extra fabric and using it as a tail of the dress because I also don't want to cut the dress and mess it up more. So I'm just going to leave the tail, and I also kind of like how it looks. I just need to go ahead and pin it here at the top and it should be ready to go. It does have a line in the center of this dress. I do, whenever I push it back, I want to make sure that line is centered. Okay, so I have my pins here and I am just going to go ahead and pin the back of my dress here of where I want my stitching to go, and I'm just going to use that as a reference. And let me just attempt to pin this. Ow, I poked myself. Go figure. Pin it there. Okay, at least that gives me an idea of how much I need to bring in. I think I'm going to want it to end right there on the top of my buttocks. And then try not to poke myself again. Oh, I think I did this one way better. And then the idea is that it would sit like this. So this is how the dress looks like laying down. I'm not entirely sure why there is a line down the middle of this dress, but that's the way it was made. I believe my sweat got it at the thrift store when she was thrift shopping. And she said it didn't fit her, so she gave it to me. I am going to try out this sewing machine. It's called Handy Stitch, and it is a cordless portable sewing machine. So this is how the sewing machine looks like outside of the box. I have used this about once or twice before when I was trying to fix my boyfriend's pants, but I'm still not an expert at it. I also have this sewing kit. I am not entirely sure where I got this, but it does come in handy. Since it is small, it is easy for on-the-go stitching, and it does come with a variety of things. It comes with this little t-shirt and some needles. It also comes with some tiny scissors, and it also has a variety of colors of string. And I did use up all the blue, which is why that one's empty. And it also has a ruler and some buttons, and it literally comes with everything you need. So I just have the dress laid out here. I have both of my safety pins there where I need to sew, but I am not entirely sure if I should sew on the outside of the dress or if I should flip it around and sew the inside. I have the dress flipped around and I'm still not entirely sure if I do want to start sewing it here. I feel like it might not give me the tail satisfaction that I want on the back of the dress when I sew it from the inside. So I am going to go ahead and sew it from the outside of the dress because I feel like it would give me what I am looking for. So this is how I want the back of the dress to lay. You can see how it has that little flip of a tail, and that's what I kind of like about it. I am just going to need to go ahead and sew it right there, and then I'm going to have to sew this top part down, and it should give me the tail satisfaction that I want. So this is how you use the machine. All you gotta do is pick up this little flap and make sure your needle is all the way up so your fabric can fit in between the needle and the machine. And then you're just gonna go ahead and lay your fabric in between there. You also want to make sure that your fabric is laying straight because you do not want to sew your fabric with any bumps or curves because then it's going to make your stitching look unprofessional and ugly. So I am going to go ahead and sew it in like a downward angle so it can give me like a triangle shaped tail where it is more snatched on the top and looser on the bottom. So I am making sure my sewing machine is all the way on the top and I'm going to start sewing, which is pretty scary because once it's on there, you can't really get it out unless you have like a seam ripper. But here I am just making sure my fabric stays straight the whole time I am sewing. So here at the last part where I'm ending off my stitching, I am just going to go ahead and stitch it multiple times just to lock it in and make sure it doesn't get loose. So I went ahead and grabbed my mini scissors from my mini sewing kit, and I am just going to go ahead and make sure that needle is all the way up so it's not inside the fabric so I can clearly cut the string. I was having a bit of difficulty trying to find that string, but once you find it, you're just going to go ahead and cut it and release that fabric from the sewing machine. Okay, let's see how the stitching came out. It kind of looks pretty choppy, but I think it's because I stopped and moved the fabric a little bit to keep going. But the top here looks pretty seamless. Let's get a closer look at this. It didn't do a bad job for a small sewing machine. And this is a closer look of the back. As you can see, the way the sewing machine works, it doesn't like in like a chain link type of sewing. So at the end, it will get loosed. And I've experienced that before where it just falls out the entire string, which is why I went ahead and I sewed it multiple times there at the end. So there's still a good amount of string left. I am just going to go ahead and put it through my needle and sew it into the fabric and just tie it off at the end to make sure it does not come loose. This is how the back is looking. Not too bad. I just need to go ahead and sew this top part here so it does not move or be sticking out. Now my sewing machine only has white string, so I am just going to go ahead and hand stitch this with my black string. Plus, I think I might be a little bit more precise than the sewing machine will be. So here's a trick on how to tie the end of a needle and thread that my mom showed me. First, you gotta wet your pointer finger. I did use my saliva, so don't judge. But you're just gonna put it in between your pointer and your thumb, and you're gonna wrap it around your finger, and then you're just gonna roll the string up with your thumb, just like that. You're gonna roll it and then pull it tight, just to secure it. And then, just for extra security, I am gonna do it one more time. So you are going to wrap the string around your finger. I did it twice. And then you're going to use your thumb to roll it up and pull it down to make sure it is nice and tight. And as you can see, there's like a nice knot at the end of that string. And then you can just start hand stitching your fabric. I mean, my stitching ain't that perfect, but it would do for the time being. And from afar, you can't really tell, which is pretty nice. So this is how my dress is looking now compared to when I first got it. This is how the back of the dress is looking with the tail. It doesn't look that bad, but I feel like I probably could have sewn it in a little bit more, but I still kind of like the way it looks from the front. I don't know why I'm barely noticing that this string is not sewed into here. And I've been looking back at these videos and it's been like that this whole time. But I am just going to go ahead and hand stitch this. Okay, so this is how the top half of the dress ended up looking. I am really liking how this dress came out. Here's the back of it. And oh my gosh, I made this dress perfectly to my body the way I wanted it to. And I am very proud of myself for actually completing this project. And it is a nice flowy dress too, which I love about it. Here's the final look of the dress. I hope you guys like watching this video. And if you want more content of me trying to upcycle some clothes, I will most definitely love to record that for you guys. That's all that I have for you guys today. Like and subscribe and comment down below if you like this content. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.